Do you remember the boy who was abandoned by his mother, so his life changed from bad to better? Boy who was abandoned by his mother at age 11 when a cancerous tumor swept his entire face finally gets life-saving chemotherapy 6 years later. Kambu Sie has been suffering from a life-threatening condition since he was 11 years old. Known as Prosper, he said his mother stopped caring for him and left. His father was too poor to afford the help and the tumor grew to swallow his face. Now 17, they underwent chemotherapy to reduce tumor thanks to a charity. A boy from Ivory Coast has received an apology from his estranged mother. A child who had a cancerous tumor that engulfed his entire face and left him struggling to breathe received life-saving treatment. Kambu Sie was abandoned by his mother who couldn't stand the disfigurement of his face. Having suffered from a life-threatening condition since he was 11 years old, his father was too poor to afford help. If the tumor is left untreated, it has grown to swallow his face completely, blocking his mouth and forcing his eyes to close. Now, with the help of a charity, he has received chemotherapy to reduce the tumor and is due to undergo plastic surgery to remove dead tissue on his face. Kambu, aka Prosper, now 17, received a letter and an emotional apology from his estranged mother. Kambu Sie was abandoned by his mother who couldn't stand the disfigurement of his face. He has suffered from a life-threatening condition since he was 11 years old. The teenager, from Bondakau in Ivory Coast, said, "People said I was some kind of monster, saying it might have been something I ate that made me like that, but my cheeks are getting bigger and bigger. When I got sick, everyone said I wouldn't recover or love, so his mother stopped caring for me and took care of her other children instead. When the disease got worse, everyone left me. My father was the only one taking care of me." What is Burkitt lymphoma? Burkitt lymphoma is a cancer of the lymphatic system. It develops from B lymphocytes, white blood cells that fight infection, and usually grow very quickly. Symptoms often develop quickly, within just a few days or weeks. Burkitt's lymphoma usually causes many lymph nodes to swell in many different parts of the body, often including the tummy, abdomen, and intestines. Other organs such as the spleen and liver may be affected. Lymphomas may also be in the bone marrow and can spread to the central nervous system. It often responds well to treatment and, in many cases, can be treated with intensive chemotherapy, which is chemotherapy with antibody therapy. In desperate need of help, Prosper's father called Sister Claudine of the Lillian Foundation, a charity that specializes in treating disabled children from developing countries. The nun put the boy in touch with the Italian charity A Voice for Padre Pio, which provides social and medical support, and together they made a video appeal for help. The charity took him to the Naples Pascal Hospital in Italy, to find the diagnosis he had been waiting for 6 years. Prosper was told he had Burkitt's lymphoma, a form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Speaking before his treatment, Prosper said, "When people see me, they say they haven't seen this disease on anyone else. I couldn't go on living. I hope to recover, even if I have to suffer first. The main thing I want to get out of this is sorting out my cheeks. My face is so much better." Tissue samples were removed from Prosper's face to determine the cause of the disease and appropriate treatment. He was initially referred to the hospital with an initial diagnosis of neurofibromatosis. However, doctors were surprised to find an extremely rare form of the cancer. His father could not afford the treatment and the tumor grew to completely swallow his face. Prosper said people harshly called him a monster because of his large tumor. Prosper said people have cruelly branded him a monster because of his large tumor. His father could not afford untreated and the lump grew to completely swallow up his face. The disease attacks healthy cells that are working in the immune system. In most cases like Prosper's, it would be fatal if left untreated. Burkitt is known to be the fastest growing human tumor, but Prosper had lived this long because his appeared to be growing slower than usual. Hermatologist Dr. Ferdinando Frigeri said, "The prognosis we are expecting to see it's that, we are dealing with a cancerous tumor. The most different aspect we've noticed is that the rate of speed of growth is much slower than one normally associated with Burkitt lymphoma." The boy has Burkitt lymphoma, a fast-growing form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Prosper has now had chemotherapy which has reduced the lump and he will have cosmetic surgery to remove the dead skin. Prosper underwent a combination of chemotherapy, radiotherapy, stem cell replacement to reduce the tumor. And after months of aggressive treatment, scans showed that Prosper's facial swelling had reduced significant, even allowing his eyes to open. He said, "At the start my face was so big, I couldn't do anything. But not I thank God. I have nearly finished my chemotherapy and everything has deflated. My face is much better.